Hello everybody and welcome to Geek Street Journal episode 14. This week we have Time Traveler Day. Interestingly, this is extremely relevant as recently Jacqueline came across a time machine and sent me a postcard. Here's that picture. Oh, Jacqueline, I'm sure she'll get out of that alive. Anyway, December 8th is pretend to be a time traveler day. Let's start this off by asking, who wouldn't want to be a time traveler? To have the power to see any point in history? To live past these few petty years we are given? To see what the future shall hold! Also, let's not forget the time machines themselves. The TARDISes, or TARDI, or whatever the plural of TARDIS might be. The Guardian of Forever's portal, magic sand-filled time-traveling knives, time turners, vortex manipulators, these are the tools of a Time Lord! One does not simply forget about the Time Lords. These are the tools of the time traveler, the time machines. Also, while we're on the subject of time machines, H.G. Wells' original book, The Time Machine, should not be overlooked, as it is a very early and both well-done example of what we usually now think of as a cliche plot point. Then, on December 11th, we have Horse Day. Basically, this is Horse Appreciation Day, and while not many of us have easy access to horses, I actually used to have two, but we had to sell them, I have compiled a list of awesome horse movies for you to watch on the 11th. Starting out, we have National Velvet, a very early horse film that's surprisingly good for as early as it is. Then we have Seabiscuit, a classic, also starring the guy from Spider-Man, I believe. Then we have this one, El Dago. It's a movie about a race in the 1800s between like this cowboy in the middle of Arabia. It's Indiana Jones on horseback, inspired by a true story. Then we have my dad's favorite, Black Stallion 1 and 2. They're pretty good. It's a very interesting movie. It's slow, but the story is absolutely amazing. And then we have Snowy River 1 and 2, and then Black Beauty, which is also an amazing book. And finally, one of my favorite movies I saw this past year, War Horse. I like that this movie was more about the people who took care of the horse and how the horse affected those people on both the English and the French and the German sides. And also for all of you fangirls out there, it stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Hiddleston. Ah! So these movies should keep you entertained for a while. Okay, and here's a silly one for you. December 12th is Ding-a-ling Day. I don't know why, but it is. I just thought I should mention it. And while we're on the subject of mentioning things, or not mentioning them, December 12th is also Unmentionable Thought Day. This is real, people. It was talked about by a National Geographic reporter who was mocking holidays, or at least the goofy ones. I take this as an insult. I make a living, a very minimal one, granted, off of telling you guys about geeky holidays, and I take this job very goofily. I mean, he mocked everything covered in chocolate day, which happens to be next week. And while we're on the subject of that, I think underneath this blue duck, I have a thing of Tabasco flavored chocolate. I'm not sure if it's relevant, but, well, there it is. And lastly, December 13th is recognized as many as National Violin Day. I'm not sure if you all know this, but I actually play the violin. It was the first instrument that I actually took lessons for. I don't take lessons for it anymore because we moved away from the teacher, which is too bad. We're getting off track. The violin is amazing. It's a tool and it's a piece of art. But it's a piece of art that makes art. It's self-replicating art. It's amazing. Hi guys, I changed my camera because this camera has a much better microphone, which I think would be a lot better for this part of the show. But first, going back to what I was saying about violins being art, isn't that just gorgeous? Let me turn it so you guys can get a better look-see. It's a German violin carved in 1820 in Austria. Isn't that just like one of the best things you've ever seen? Well, it just hit me. I'm playing an instrument that is 180 about years old. That is amazing. Wow, I'm playing an artifact. Things that old are usually in a museum. But credit where credit is due, that violin maker's violin is still being played 200 years later. That's some pretty good craftsmanship. Now, my favorite thing about violin is you can use it in a lot of different genres. You can do classical.
Also, the violin's possibly one of the most famous instruments due to one of its most popular players. See if you can pick out who I'm talking about. Or maybe you know it better like this. Aside from that, it's prevalent in many songs, including several theme songs. I think you know which one I'm going to end you guys on. See you guys later, and thank you for watching.